Namaskaram to all of you. Namaskaram. Communication skill class, right? Already 4 classes are over. 3 classes are over. So this is 4th class. Any one of you heard me earlier on any occasions? One or two. Which course? Personality development. Motivation. Personality development. Pardon? Okay. So now we should talk about communication skill. Okay. How many of you have good communication skill? Raise your hands. No. How many of you believe that after the course you will have good communication skill? Yeah, good. At least a few of you half belief only, not full belief. Okay. What were the other 3 classes which you already had? What was the subject already discussed? Nothing? 3 classes. What was the earlier topics already covered? Louder. Anyone? Raise your hand and then. So this is how you learn the communication skill. When there is a question, don't respond to that. What were the earlier classes? Tell me, what is that earlier 2 classes? Pardon? Methods of improving language. So communication related to language. That's what it is. Okay. Next. Pardon? Stage fear. Then? Listening skills and? Okay, how to communicate to others. That means you know how to communicate to yourself. Communicate to others is more difficult than communicating to yourself. What else? You must communicate. Then only I will communicate to you. What else? How many of you are B.Tech students or engineering students? Quite a few. What do you do? What do you do? What do you do? Is there any problem? Listening skill? Okay. Job. How many of you are employed? Quite a good. Okay. Marketing? Not much. Okay. Only one. I am Shashi Kumar, basically a scientist in the Department of Space. Doctorate is in mathematics. I am with Ramakrishna for many of the courses for last few years. It's a good class, communication. We attract a lot of people on communication skill classes in Ramakrishna. And many people attend here thinking that after this course you will be able to get a lot of communication skills. That's why you raise hands. It's a false impression which you have on a course. Communication skill cannot be attained unless you practice it. And for last 3 days you have attended and you are not practicing it. Just to test that only, I asked you what course, what and all that. You should jump and then start talking. If you want to get into real communication, you should start practicing it. The first inhibition that you will make mistakes, don't worry about it. If your language have to improve, first thing you should start talking. Let it be any language. You are good in your mother tongue because you practiced it. You are not good in other tongue because you don't practice it. So what is essentially required is, don't worry about whether you do mistake or not. You don't learn walking unless you start walking. That's why the skill, it's not education. It's not gaining knowledge. It's not for understanding what is communication. The course will give you a spark. The importance of language is told to you in the class. For what? So that you will feel that you need to have good language Therefore, you will start learning lot of words. Language means number of words. Right? How many number of words you will get in your life, whole life? In all the languages together, all words what you know, if you count them, how many words you will know by now? Not more than 20,000. In your whole life you will not have more than 24,000 number of words. At the age of 6, a kid will have approximately 6,000 words. And when you grow up to 18 age, another 12 years, double that age, people will grasp another 6,000 words. So when you are 18 years, maximum 12,000 words, that's the average in a village. But when you get into a city, you will have more of communication. And today the world is progressing so well, therefore you have a lot of opportunity to listen to many of the other media, therefore the number of words will increase. Today the people are able to grasp many more words because you are exposed to many more media. And therefore maximum 20,000. That's what you will get. In the whole rest of your life, you will have another 4,000 to 5,000 words, 25,000 words. But assume you can increase it by another 5,000 to 6,000, then you are wonderful. And language is very easy because all the, for example, our South Indian languages, if you take, all of them are almost having same pattern. So if you are good in one language, other language does not become a problem for you. Maybe English is slightly difficult because it is from a different place. Or Telugu, Tamil, Malayalam, Kannada, all of them will have same rhythm. If you know one language, other language becomes very easy. Avide, that's in Malayalam, akade, ikkade, akkade, Kannada, ange, enge, Tamil, alli, Telugu. All languages it looks same. Avide, ange, enge, alli, akkade, ikkade, idhar, udhar, kidhar. So all languages remains almost the same. You can see the rhythm is very simple. And script also becomes very good because Telugu and Kannada scripts are almost the same, except Telugu have got some extra turnings at some places. Tamil is very easy because they don't distinguish between ka, kha, ga, kha. They have only one ka. Okay? Very tribal old language. If they write Shivaji Ganeshan, if you don't know how to read, you will read Shivaji Ganeshan. Because Shah and Cha is same, Ga and Ka is same. If you read Shivaji, it will become Shivaji. That's all. Ja is there. Okay? So it's very easy. In Malayalam, it's almost like Kannada and Telugu. We have got a lot of common words from Sanskrit. Therefore, if you know Telugu, you will understand Malayalam. It's very easy. Language learning is so simple. Many of the languages, if you start understanding and learning, you will get a grip over that, but that will be lost very soon unless you practice it. I was in Karnataka for 4 years. I was very good in Kannada. I read and learn, reading, writing, everything. But when I came to Andhra for last 18 years, now I know Telugu well, but Kannada is lost. Because we have less opportunity to use it. So skill will develop only when you practice it. Now let us think about, I have explained what is skill, what is importance of language. And people talk about stage fear. I am just brushing up whatever you had earlier. People talk about communication skill and stage fear, thinking that communication is what is public speaking. If you are good in public speaking, you are everything. But there are many people who are good in public speaking, but one-to-one discussion they are very bad. There are people who are very good in one-to-one discussion, but they are very bad in public speaking. You can see the ministers, they will talk very nicely when they are on the stage. You talk to them straight, you feel like preaching them. The language is very bad. Some people are very good in one-to-one communication, but when it comes to the stage, it is very bad. And many people have fear. That's a big problem. What is the solution given for you? What is the solution given for you? Don't hesitate. Okay. That's what. Next. Feel free to express. If these two are there, you can talk about communication now. You heard 3 lectures, right? You know little bit of communication skill. How many of you can talk about communication skill on the stage? You feel free? Don't hesitate. Come and stop for 1 hour. Language skill, that's enough. Body language is important. Then you don't require knowledge. More important for communication, provided you are a dancer. More important is body language when you are dancing. That's what people, there are a lot of controversy between these balancing. People feel that body language is important. Some people feel that body language is not important. Okay, let us keep it aside. I am not trying to contrast. More important is knowledge. If you don't have knowledge, you cannot give a public speaking. You can have one-to-one. But that is never called as communication. There is a difference between communication. People generally define communication as expressing your ideas. Expressing your idea need not put under communication. You said you don't have communication skill. Don't you talk to your friends? Don't you talk to your friends? Is it not communication? That is communication, but not in the level of communication by definition. What do you call that? What do you call when you talk to your friend? I communicated on a topic. Do you say that? What do you say? Conversation. That's very good. Who said that? Yeah, good. So conversation and communication, there is a difference. People are good in conversation. When you have a good language and with body language, you communicate. You cannot talk to your friend without the body language. But you can do a public speaking without a body language. Not necessarily you should have. You can communicate through CD, cassette, All India radio. Communication happens. But do you see the people? Is it not effective? People listen to drama through a All India radio. Is it not? You listen to music, dance music, with all the picturization, it's wonderful. But you will be able to also appreciate the same music without a visual. So some people believe that that's not important. But in a one-to-one communication, over phone when you talk, do they see your expressions, body language, but still it is effective? So therefore people argue on this part both in conversation and communication. What is the difference between communication and conversation? Let us do that first. What is the difference between conversation and communication? You don't understand difference? No difference for you? Now just now I asked you, can you talk about a communication for 1 hour? Or any given topic, can you talk? You said no. But I am sure for any subject which is not known to you, you can talk to your friend for hours together. You can have conversation with your friend on any topic, but you cannot have a communication on the topic. Why? In conversation, you will start talking about any topic, and the friend also will add a few points. And then what do? You contradict with him, you agree with him. Is it not? You argue with him, and some more knowledge you will get. Assume that you are talking about music. You will talk about music. Then he will say, yeah, what do you know about music? Yeah. And then you tell me what is music. Then you will start talking about music. After some time, assume that the other friend don't have any interest in this subject. What do? You change the topic. You talk about something else. Then after some time again, some other topic will come. At the end of 3-4 hours, both of you think, what is that we were discussing all this time? Then you will feel it's all gas, nothing was there. Conversation need not have a content. It don't have. Do you start conversation with your friend telling that we are going to discuss another 10 minutes? Will you start like this with a time frame? What do? You start discussing sometime hours together, or in between some other urgent requirements comes, you will go, and then next time when you meet, you will start the balance. In conversation, you can go in the middle and come back. You can have a cup of tea and come back. You can change your subject. But in communication, you are not supposed to do that. Now I am here for 1 hour to talk to you on communication skill. In the middle, I have no other choice. I cannot change my topic. At the end of the class, you must be able to give a title for this. What did I say? There has to be an essence. There is a frame within which only I can draw. A small kid starts drawing a picture. They will start drawing a river. If the page is over, they will turn the page, the river will continue in the next page. But do a good painter do that? He already determines his frame, and whatever he wanted to draw, he will put inside that. So therefore, a communication is like a professional job, in which you have a frame, defined activity, there is a title, something to convey, and you should have some stuff with you. You cannot getting it in the middle. You cannot ask somebody, you contribute, you can't do that. You should have sufficient knowledge. Therefore, a good communication starts with collecting data, collecting information, gathering knowledge. Then only you will become fit for communicating. You cannot communicate without having knowledge. So for communication, the first step is collect data. Assume that you wanted to talk about population of India. First data has to be collected. Learn about the topic. Knowledge has to be there. So more important in communication is having knowledge. And then the skill for transferring that knowledge to somebody else. That's what you want. And all that what you are focusing was only on oral from tongue. Communication doesn't mean oral alone. Some people are very good in writing articles. You want to write an article on population of India. Wonderful, you can write an article and it will reach much larger audience than when you do a public speaking. The only difference between public speaking and writing article, you are not seeing your audience, but in the other case, you are seeing the audience. That's only the difference. When you write an article in a paper, how many people will read that? Actually, what is that you are doing? Whatever idea you have, whatever knowledge you have, you are communicating. Some people are good in writing. Therefore, writing is also a communication. What you should do? You should know that it is 2000 words. The frame is kept. Knowledge is given, and now how much words you have to use it. That's also defined. In a class, how much knowledge you have? You may have different activities, different knowledge, different ideas you will have. But given time is 1 hour. You must finish this in 1 hour. So frame is given. In there, the number of pages are given. That's the only difference. Only here you don't have an option for using a rubber. Once you say it is set. But there you will have a chance for editing, re-editing, reading it again. Therefore, generally written communication is much perfect than oral communication. That's why people don't have a tension. When somebody is asked to write an article, you have no tension. Because you are not going to read it. Somebody else is going to read it. You are not seeing who is reading it. You are not going to see the reactions. But in an oral communication, you are going to see the reactions. Therefore, you will have tension. But communication is very good in written communication. Therefore, what is required? Collect data, make a frame, and then express it through frame. The frame can be a stage and given time using your words, oral communication, or it can be a written communication. Both are possible. Now, through this, you are communicating some knowledge, some idea, some concept. That's more important. A communication in a professional way will have some knowledge, concept, something to communicate, so that at the end of reading you will understand this means this. I have got some more knowledge. And how do you collect knowledge now? We have sufficient knowledge, but how do you frame them together? All of you are keeping pen with you, right? That's the simplest example I take generally. How many of you can talk about the pen for half an hour? None of you. You are using it for last so many years. And how many of you can talk about the pen for half an hour? I can. Anybody? Yeah, I'm seeing him. He's a very smart boy. How many of you can talk about the pen for 10 minutes? I'm bargaining. You can only talk about half an hour, not 10 minutes. This is the problem in communication. When I say half an hour, yes. 10 minutes, no. I can only talk half an hour, not less than that. Now 3-4 people can. Now again I will bargain. How many of you can talk about the pen for 2 minutes? Little more, some 10%. How many of you can talk about pen for 1 minute? All? Who said that? On behalf of somebody else. You please come. Half an hour. I am not going to give him half an hour. I will give him 2 minutes to talk on pen. Let us do a practical. It's a skill development, right? Communication skill. You should have practical sessions actually. I wish we will have more practical sessions, but time is very short. So he is going to talk about pen for 2 minutes. 2 minutes. What is that you were thinking while coming?
What is the knowledge? What should I have to tell to them?
Very good. That's the first qualification required. Some people will say nothing. I am not thinking anything. So if you don't think about something, how do you talk about that? Okay. So first qualification. Good. Now you tell. Talk about pen for 2 minutes.
Very good morning, friends. I am very happy to see all of you today in this nice morning. Now I am going to give a small presentation about the pen. You know, in our daily life, pen is very essential. In ancient days, there is no thought and no such type of instrument to express our ideas through articles. For the evaluation in the last ancient days, they will do just one pen, ballpoint pens and ink pens. Now pen become evaluated and we have this type of pen. The mechanism is very simple. It has a very small ball in it has a one refill. It is just like cylinder. In this has a this is ink, and this ball gives while moving, and it will write it. This is the basically about the pen. We are using so many types of pens, ink pen and ballpoint pen, and recently very good pens are there. And not only this, and today most of us and not only so many types of pen is now so many people that are use of the pen. Use of the pen is not only for the writing. They are using for the prestige issue. And you see so many ads. Amitabh Bachchan wants to become a Parker pen. So many people are attracting towards that. Parker pen is not only writing. It is a prestige symbol. Pen.
It's half an hour. Good, well done. Give him a clap. What is that you communicate through clapping? Appreciation. But do you appreciate like this, people? Yeah, well done. You do that? Did I ask you for a clap? Did I ask you money? I just asked you clapping. Did you do it with your whole heart? Tell me. Really? Let me try. Just clap when I lift my hand up. When I put it down, stop clapping. Okay? Please do it sincerely. When I said when I lift my hand, start. When I put it down, stop. Even that does not go inside. Okay? I will give you 2 marks for clapping. You are very bad. You doesn't know how to clap. When you clap, wholeheartedly clap with the whole sound, let the plastering collapse. Let the fan fall down. With full energy, clap well. Do it. stop. Now I will give you 10 marks. You have improved slightly. Do it wholeheartedly, everyone, at a stretch. Start. Very good. Start. Is it better or the first clap was better? So how do you say you have done it with your whole heart in the beginning? You don't. This is the biggest problem. I just asked you, please clap again. Did you clap this nicely in the second time? No. If we have to respond, people should go on ask you, please do it, no, please do it. But somebody beg, once begging, no, you don't listen. Go on begging, then you will think whether to do it or not. This is the biggest problem. Whatever efficiency we have, whatever capability we have, just do it without reservation. The first chance what you get to clap. Is it not? Nobody asked you to clap in the class. When somebody asks you to clap, just clap it. When I say that clap for him, I did not say clap for me. I said clap for him. He's your own friend, your own colleague. With wholeheartedly, you should clap. If that you don't do, your skill can never be improved. Learn this. If you want to improve in your life, any skill you must try. You want to learn how to cook sambar. If you don't cook in your life, you will never learn. So first what you should do, go back today home, ask your mother to get out of the kitchen, cook sambar. Let it become something else, doesn't matter. It may not be sambar. Until you practice, you never learn. Skill can never be developed without practicing. So start practicing. Is it that great to practice clapping? It's because when you clap, all your hands should join like this together, not like this. When you clap like this, your energy will raise. Your head will become more brilliant. Your leg will become much more better. Your hands will become much better. Your stomach will become better. Your heart will become better. When you clap, you should clap like this. Clapping is for energizing yourself, not for somebody else. You will get energized. You will be able to absorb things better. So when you clap, whole body gets energized. That's why people have to clap. When you get tension, generally people will hold hand like this. Have you seen? No, why? Because this is head, this is hand. You cannot rub your head like this. Therefore, when you rub like this, the same effect is obtained. So when you clap, actually the head to head, the clapping, this part of the body will get energized. When you close your eyes and then rub your finger like this, you will know that your legs are getting massaged. That's what acupressure is. Okay? So when you clap, you get energized. So try to clap with the full energy, full force, so that you get energized. For whom you are clapping? Not for him, but for yourself. Clap once. It's slightly better now, because I said it is useful for you. This is the problem. Okay? If it is useful for somebody else, you don't do it that nicely. But if it's useful for you, you will do it. With the clapping, you can do wonderful things. With the clapping, you can make rain. You know how to make rain? Use one finger, clap like this. Clap. When I show one finger, clap. Very fast, very fast. Is it raining now? Now you will see two. It's a Kerala rain. This is the heavy rain. Okay? So you can communicate many things non-verbally also. Much more better. Now he talked about something. What is the title you will give for your talk? 2 minutes you spend. What is the title you will give? Uses of pen and mechanisms of pen. But I asked you to talk about pen. So you have restricted yourself. You understood? So you need half an hour so that you will expand. Given time frame, I said 2 minutes. Exactly about the pen, you should have put only that much. You should give the title If I ask you after that what is the topic you said, you should tell pen, nothing else. Don't get into specializations in the beginning. You understood? So if you want to communicate well, you have pen and paper with you, draw a circle. Draw a circle in your paper. And like LKG nursery student will draw sun. How do you draw? Different arrow marks all around, right? So make that circle into a sun. Different rays, sun rays in all the directions. You did it? So you got a nice sun. That is how you should communicate. Now what do? In the center, in the circle, you write a pen. Now each ray, you start writing different aspects of pen. What are the different aspects? First thing what he said is use. So one ray you write use. Second ray you write technology. Third, what do you write? Mechanisms. That's technology. Again, no problem. If you want to go too much of specialization, you have got number of rays can be more. Now, another importance of pen. Next, he also talked about pen as a prestige. Okay? Then you can use it for giving gifts. That becomes a hobby for some people. The ink mechanisms, the type of ink, the type of pens, the thickness of pen, pen as a product, pen for marketing. Now then what? Invention of pen, history of pen. Each ray you can fill up how many? Start thinking different variety. What else? Pen as a weapon. Not the weapon like this, but through writing you can make revolutions, right? There is one proverb. Yeah, pen is mightier than. Yeah, therefore you can use it as a weapon. Next. What else? Types of pen, yeah. Colors of pen. On different papers you can write. You have transparency pen. You have to write on the board. You can write on paper. You can write on films. You will get sparkling. When you want to give gift and all, you will use on that sparkling pen, right? So now how many rays you have filled up? If you think more, you can fill up many more rays. So on a topic, what is that you have done now? Collect information, collect data. Now how many of you will get sufficient information on each of them? You can collect many information around this. Now do you feel that you can talk more than 10 minutes on pen? Right now? In the beginning you never had this confidence because you know, did I add anything new? I did not. You have information, but that does not come. You have information, we have knowledge on many of the topics, but what happens? It does not come out. So what is to be done now? Whenever you wanted to talk about a topic, write an article on a topic, draw a circle, make it a sun, center of the circle, you write which topic you want, think on different aspects, and then number it. First you should talk about invention, history, then come to users. You will have a different order. You cannot talk about technology first, then history later. Is it not? So keep an order. This is the order in which I must talk. Give some number to each one of the topic. Make subtopics. Give some number to that. Then you can write a good article on that. Or you can articulate on that. Articulation is talking on that. Both are possible. First, what is required? Collect data. Make a frame. So when you give number, keep it in order, that means you have kept a frame. And you cannot tell, I can talk about only if I have got half an hour. That's not true. A good painter does not say, I can draw Vivekananda's picture only in A0 paper. A4 size I cannot draw. A small paper is also given, he will be able to draw Vivekananda's picture. Right? Will he draw only eye and say that this is Vivekananda's eye, the rest I will do if I get a bigger paper? No. If you get 2 minutes also, you must talk about the pen. If you get half an hour also, you must talk about the pen. It should convey pen. How much detail you will go depends on what size of frame you have. How much time is given? That's more important. A good communicator is a communicator who will do this. Yesterday somebody was asking me a question on Orkut. We have discussed with my students most of the time. How to make good presentation. The same subject only I said. Collect information, make a frame. If you want to make an oral presentation, then the fear should not be there. But that's not just, an oral presentation is not just the presentation. You can also do it in PowerPoint presentation. So when you make PowerPoint presentation or make it in a writing form, the font which you select, the color which you use as background, in PowerPoint presentation the color which you take for font size, which font, for what, for whom, all these are important. Whenever you make a presentation, much more important is not the presentation. The content is 70%, presentation is 30%. Knowledge 70% if you have, if you are not that good also, people will appreciate, because at the time you may not appreciate, but at the end of the class you will see, oh, there was something which I could gather. If you have only 30% knowledge, 70% skill on the topic in the language, presentation skill is 70%. At the time of listening, you will become very happy, but after that when you think, what is that he told? All useless things. Many of the politicians will give nice lecture. No public speaking. You will be thrilled. He talks so many things, But after some time when you think, there is nothing inside that. It will be very, very appealing for you to listen, but nothing to think. A technical class, what you will have, the subject will be more, but skill of presentation style will be very less. So you should balance it based on what is that you are trying to do. Much more important is to whom you are talking. I can talk about communication skill to you in this level, but if it is 3rd class, 4th class, 5th class student, or I am going to a high school and then talking to the students, will I use the same style? I will change my style. If I am talking to the executives in Wipro, will I talk about communication skill like this? I will not. So you should know to whom you are talking. That's more important. You must understand the audience. When you talk to your mother, you will talk in one style. When you talk to your lover, you will talk in different style. When you talk to your spouse, you will talk in different style. When you talk to your kids, they will talk in different style. A police fellow talks to the public in a different style. But when he go back to home, he will talk to his wife in the same style. Then wife will become police, right? So it depends on whom you are communicating. That's more important. Always in communication, understand to whom you are communicating. Now let me ask a question. These are all topics which I have selected from what you told me now. But generally my class is not on this. That's on a different subject. On communication skill, I don't talk on these topics. But I thought I should have a change. That's why I made all this. To whom you communicate maximum? There was a small clue in the beginning. Somebody said friends, but he said the right answer. You talk to yourself maximum. You are talking to you only maximum. When I said to make a presentation on communication, first thing what you should do? Collect information, collect the data, make a frame. Who is doing that? You. How can you do that without communicating to you? So what happens? The buddhi will start working, the manas will start working, your eye will start working, the hand will start working, ear will start working, every part of your body will start working for a purpose. All the time you are spending time with you. You will give a talk on communication only for 1 hour. But how much time you will have to spend for preparation? All the time when you prepare, who is talking to you? You are talking to yourself. Unless you talk yourself nicely, you cannot make a nice presentation. And many times that's what will happen. When you collect data, buddhi should work. Buddhi is there. But what happened? When I was asking you to talk about the pen, buddhi was not working. Manas was working. You got worried. You said, no, I cannot do this. This is not my job. Right, no? When you want to know the buddhi about the subject, you have knowledge. But When you want to make a presentation, starts worrying. Manasu will say, no, yeah, this is not the place to do this. You will start shivering because your manasu will say, become upset. Emotion will become more. Your concentration will go. You can collect information only when you totally get concentrated inside that. Many students, many people will have this problem. They are not able to concentrate on a subject. If I am standing here, I am talking about communication. If I have no concentration on the topic, will I be able to make presentation? That's what happens most of the people. They have knowledge, but they are not able to sit in this subject. They will start diverting. Their mind will not be here. Mind will go somewhere else. When you open the book, you are communicating to a book. Then only the knowledge will become yours. Instead of communicating to the book, your mind goes into 100 places. Wonderful, mind is working. That's why it is going in different places. But this purpose of reading will become useless. You will not be able to get knowledge. Therefore, if you want to collect the knowledge, you must be able to concentrate. When you listen to somebody, this lecture is happening here, but you are sitting here. You are here, you are hearing, but you are not listening. You are here, you are hearing, but you are not listening. Most of the classes, that is what happens. That's why teachers will beg in the class, please listen, no, please listen. Because the teacher knows that no students are listening to them. You are sitting here, but thinking about masala dosha, Taj Hotel masala dosha. The teacher will be talking about a Tolstoy in the class, students will think about Chiranjeevi. Does not work. So what is essential? When you sit in some place, your concentration should be there on whatever you are hearing. Reading concentration, hearing concentration, eating concentration have to be there. When you eat, all indriya will function, but your concentration has to be there. If you don't have, you will become useless. Whatever time you spend will become waste. You will not gain knowledge. So gaining knowledge is through your talking to yourself. Preparing for something is talking to yourself. All these have to be clean. Assume that you have learned a lot of words. When you talk to somebody, let it not talk about the communication, but let us talk about the conversation. Is your conversation very perfect? When you use some word, as soon as you use the word, you will say, oh, I should not have told him like this. Wrong communication happened, right? Sometimes you don't communicate to people. You wanted to communicate, but you don't communicate. Oh, I should have told him something. Now you have attended my class. By mistake, you see me on the road. By mistake. And then first thing you will say, I will talk to my sir. He at least spend 1 hour with me now. Why should I talk to him? Who is he to me? I am not going to see him tomorrow. So you will ignore. Soon after you get into the bus, you will think, oh, I should have talked to him. Does it not happen sometimes? This communication happens, actually talking to him is only 1 minute, but oh, I did not do that. That thought process will be there for another 1 hour, until you get another bad incident in your life. You get a good scolding from your mother. You are so upset. Go to the office, go to college. Your professor gives another big bulldozer. Then the first bulldozer is forgotten and the new thing you will keep in your mind. All the time the mind is upset, thinking on something which generally makes people useless. How much time you will waste communicating to yourself which are useless? The prime time in the early morning. The first call comes from whom? Pardon? Nature caller. Is that nature caller first? Somebody will want to get up at 3 o'clock. What do you do? Drink 3 bottles of water. If it is at 5 o'clock, 1 bottle is enough at night. If it is 2 o'clock, 3 bottles. So the nature call will come early. What do you listen in the morning? The first word, first sound, what gets? Alarm. Mother's call, father's call, brother's call. Depends on who is calling you, your reaction. Your communication will change. If it is brother or sister, like this. If it is mother, you will put your bed sheet on. Father means get up very fast from bed. Actually, before listening to the sound, you must have woke up. If you are in deep sleep, you will never listen to alarm. You will not listen to your mother's call, even nature's call. If you are in deep sleep, you will not know that. You are not in deep sleep means what? You are already waken up. So who calls you in the early morning is the question. There is a time called the Brahma Muhurtam in Bharatiya Shastra. Brahma Muhurtam, exactly 2 hours prior to the sunrise time, Brahma will come and say, Shashi Kumar, wake up, wake up. Then what do you say? Poda. We don't care him at all. First, who calls us in the morning? God himself. And we don't listen to the call of God, and throughout our life we start calling God, he will not listen to us. That's the biggest problem. If God has to listen to you, you must listen to God first. What do? When we wake up, we will listen the sound of the milk boy putting milk, the paper boy is putting paper, the mother is washing the person, and the next door is getting opened, the next gate is getting opened, the car is moving out. All that you will listen nicely, and what you are doing? Peacefully, not sleeping, peacefully pretending that you are sleeping. And what do you think all this time? Nothing. No thought process. Or whatever balance yesterday Papa you have done, that you will think today. What to do now today? Yesterday night I went for movie. I told my mother that I have gone to my friend's house for discussion. But morning what do I say? You start feeling guilty on your whatever actions you have done. You will plan how to live today, how to get out of the house today. All these thought process will be there in you. Have to go for movie, how to get money. All this will be what you are thinking in the early morning. All the kunushta kubuddhi paratoshakam, all the bad feelings you will have in the morning, and you will spoil the whole day. Assume that your chitta, mind, tejas, your prana is very clean, you will have a clean thought process. So what is required? If you want to listen, if you want to learn, if your mind is very, very clean, you will be able to listen well. You are sitting here thinking something else because your mind is not clean. That's what Shankara says. Your mind has to be like a mirror. Manam darpada samanam. You must use good words. How do you use good words? In your life you have heard only bad words. Then you cannot use good words. Because you have got sufficient scolding. You learned all bad words in your life. When you get angry, bad words will come. Assume that you never heard scolding in your life. When you get angry, bad words will not come. Because you don't have bad words in your dictionary. Is it not? So therefore what happens? Whatever you have in your mind, that only can be produced through communication. Your mind has to be clean. Priya vakya pradhanena sarve tushyanti jantabaha. All animals also will be very happy to listen nice words. Priya vakya. But why people don't use it? Because you don't have good words with you, you have only bad words. Therefore what is to be done? Don't connect bad words in your life. If father is scolding, you look at him like this and say, oh, you have become so bad, you have kept a lot of bad words in you. And you are trying to teach all the bad words to me so that my kids I can scold. Generations to generations we are transferring bad words like this. So never try to do that. Your thinking process has to be good. Vak has to be good means your chitta has to be good. Manas has to be good. Vak, mana. The manas only gives words outside. The words have to be good, manas have to be very good. If your manas is not good, mind is not good, bad words only will come. Vak, mana. If manas, mind gets words from where? Whatever you see will give you words. Whatever you listen will give you words. Whatever you smell will give you words. All the indriyas will start giving good words. Where do indriyas will get information? Indriyas will get information from the surroundings. Vak, mana, chakshu, srotra, grana, jihvaredo, buddhyagrati, sangalpame shuddhyandam. Your sangalpam has to be good. Thought process has to be good. So that your words will become very perfect. How do you get good thought process? Good seeing. When you see this picture, you can communicate it. Oh, wonderful picture, yeah. That's your thought process is good. You can say, what a peacock is this? Is peacock like this? That means your thought process is bad. You can appreciate anything. You can also find fault with anything. Depends on what sort of a person you are. Try to be a good person so that you can communicate well. All people are assessed by, not by seeing, but by the words which people use. Keyuranina bhushayanti purusham harana chandrojjalam natnanam na kusumam na vilepanam etc. 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 It says Pak bhushanam bhushanam. The bhushanam, the character of a person, wisdom of a person is decided by the words which they use. Keyurana bhushayanti purusham harana chandrojjalam. How much flower you have put is not important. How much harem you have put is not important. What dress you have worn is not important. Much more important is what word you use. Your character, culture is defined by the words what you use. Vivekananda had an experience of walking on the street of American, and then some youngsters pulled his turban back. He has a nice way of dressing. Nobody else wore dresses like this, right? So somebody pulled his turban. He turned back and asked. He has a fabulous English, fantastic English. Not like this. Very good English. He asked back, what gentleman, why you are pulling my turban? And these people never thought from this sort of a person, we will assess people by seeing, right? From this sort of a person, they never expected this sort of a language. Then he said, oh, you speak good English. We never thought that you are a cultured man. We never thought that you are a cultured man from the dress. Then Vivekananda gave a dosage back telling that in your land, tailor makes a gentleman. In our land, culture makes a gentleman. In India, the way you have taken birth is not important. The culture comes with the people with whom you are living. If you don't take birth in a nice family or not a nice family, it doesn't matter. If you mingle with the people who are all good, automatically you will become wonderful. So if you want to have good words, nice dealings, good communication skill with whom you should talk, identify people who will talk to you nicely. If you talk to people who have got wonderful language, automatically your language will become better. You go to Western country, US sometime, come back, your English will change. Whereas you go to Europe and come back, whatever English you know, you will lose. Because Europeans does not talk in English. Therefore, with whom you are communicating will give you that sort of a language. You see the Telugu versions in different places? It's slightly different in different places. Why? Because the people around them are different. So if you want to have a good communication skill, what is essential? Make a good group of people, good satsang, start communicating. Start practicing. Start discussing. Now I have given you an idea of how to get ideas and then spread them. Think about, when you travel, don't think something else. Just think about the items which you are seeing. Start discussing with your neighbor, whoever is sitting in the bus. When you have a neighbor beside you, start talking about whatever he knows. Ask him, what do you do? Then he will say, he's an agriculturist. What do you have? The product. Then he will talk about that. You ask somebody else, he will say, I have a prawns business. You ask him, how do you generate prawns? Where do you cultivate them? You will learn lot. And you will also talk to him in the same style. When I travel in bus, I talk to any people who sits beside him. I will get lot of knowledge. And sometimes they will ask you, sometime when I was talking to a person who does a prawns business, he asked, oh, you also do prawns business? Because the way I got involved in discussing with him is, I am also in the same business. So you will learn a lot only when you discuss with people. You have gifted words. You have gifted caliber, you have gifted tone, but we don't use it. When you travel in train also, you think that we have to talk to this person who is sitting on the next side. No, we are reluctant. People feel that they have to talk to somebody. They will say, no, why should I talk? Once you talk, you will get knowledge. You will get reactions. Whatever you have, try to give it to somebody else. Whatever they have, try to capture from them. When you do that, automatically you will start developing your knowledge. Acharya padamadatte padam shishyaswamedhaya padam sa brahmacharibhya padam kalakramenacha. These are the ways of learning things. Acharya padamadatte. From a class, from a lecturer, you learn little bit. Padam Shishya Swamedaya. You have to learn yourself. Reading, thinking, all these are essential so that you will get another quarter. That quarter information you will get from the Acharya. Quarter information you will have to gain yourself by thinking. You are listening. That is your own adding. I am talking, but that does not give you full information. If you don't listen, that will not give you information. So quarter I will give. If you listen, quarter you will get. If you don't listen also, quarter you will get. And then the rest quarter you should get it through discussions with the people. Discuss with the Brahmacharibhya, means start discussing with the people who are closer by you. Then Padam Kalakramenacha, after some time only you will get. But even this sloka when I translate, people have miscommunication. I said, Acharya will give quarter. Oh, wonderful Acharya, he gives quarter every day. The communication, it all depends on what is in the mind of people. Padam Shishya Swameda, then the quarter I will take myself. Quarter my friend will give. And then you will become full, flat. So communication has got miscommunication. Whatever the speaker says, you need not understand. Because what is there in your mind, that is how you will interpret things. The perceiver perceives the way the perceiver likes to perceive and not the way the speaker wants the perceiver to perceive. The perceiver, the listener, will realize the way the listener wanted to realize, but not the way the speaker wants the listener to realize. The perceiver perceives the way the perceiver wants to perceive and not the way the speaker wants the perceiver to perceive. That's generally said misconcept of communication will happen. So communication is a wonderful technology which is available for us and only for us. Only human being have this capability. Why? No dog will give a lecture like this, no dogs will sit like this. There is only difference between animal and a human being. Human being will collect information together, we will start learning, we will tell somebody else. Assume that you wanted to get this knowledge, whatever I gave you today, to be yourself and to become yours, only way is you paraphrase. Paraphrasing means tell this to somebody else. What do? Today, whomever you see, you go and tell about this lecture. What will happen? You will learn it better. Then the best way to learn is this. What is this? Listen. Now close your eyes and then close your ear with your hand like this and then think about what did I tell you for last 1 hour. Just close your eyes, close your ear, think about each point what you have learned in this class for some time. You have 2 minutes to think. Just think about all the points which I told you. Where did I start? Where did I end? Which are the different points which I said? And you will not be able to think all of them because you have only 2 minutes, 3 minutes to think. And I spoke more than